And with the Oscars, the 95th Annual Academy Awards happening this Sunday, and it being International Women's Month, I thought, why not? What better of a time to talk about the amazing women who have been there to pioneer and represent for us in this male-dominated industry. I don't know what's gotten into me lately, but I cannot stop having iced coffee with coconut LaCroix. A splash of milk. I bet with coconut milk it would be so good. I don't know what's happening to my bangs.
Can I escape? Can I get out? Mama?
It is International Women's Day. Happy Women's Day. Yay. It's actually International Women's Month, but today is the day. I am pleased to announce that today's video will be about the only 8 women who have ever been nominated for an Oscar in the category of Best Achievement in Directing. Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Courtney, you can call me Courts, and I myself am a female writer-director. It's been a minute since I put out a project, but we're artists, so we allow the title to exist even when we are creating other things. I just want to say I really appreciate the one person who slid into my comment section and said, "We need more short films from you," because it lit some sort of fire inside of me, and I am eager to produce a teeny tiny little short film for you guys now.
I was before, but now I'm like, oh my gosh, external validation, you know?
As a female writer, director, actor, it's very important to me to see other women represented in the category, male-dominated category. So before we get into it, take a second to like this video, subscribe to my channel. I'm a growing creator. I am on my road to monetization, so if you like this content, it really does help me out at this point in time, so
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
But now, let's get into it. It is absolutely wild to say that there has been almost 100 years of Academy Awards, and only 8 women have ever been nominated. And let me say, that's a nomination. It's an honor, sure, but only 3 women have ever actually won. So for your reference, the Oscars, the Academy Awards, have been airing since 1929, in my little notes here. 1929. Okay, 47 years later, we have our first female nominated for Best Director, and that is Lina Wertmuller.
German. Lina Wertmuller. Hang on.
Lina Wertmuller.
It's not that complicated. Lina Wertmuller. Lina Wertmuller is nominated for her film Seven Beauties, which came out in 1975. In Italian. It's a foreign film. Extra applause for a foreign film in a foreign language directed by a woman being the first woman nominated for an Oscar. Clap, clap, clap. We love it. How progressive for 1975. She wrote and produced this movie herself. She also worked really closely with her husband. He did the costume design and the production design, I believe. The most concise description of this film that I could find. It's 1930s Italy. Pasqualiano, a low-level Sicilian thug, kills a man who disgraced his sister. Pasqualiano pleads insanity and managed to escape imprisonment by joining the military. But then he decides to go AWOL when things get too heavy. Unfortunately, he finds himself stuck in a concentration camp. There, Pasqualiano vows to do anything in order to survive, even if that means seducing an obese female German camp commandant, or ratting out his own pals. And this movie has been rated 7.7 out of 10 on IMDb. She did not win. She was not the first female director to win, but she was and will be forever the first woman nominated. All right, number 2 on our list, 18, almost 20 years later, Jane Campion is nominated for The Piano. It came out in 1993. A romantic drama written, produced, and directed by Jane Campion herself. So she did not win Best Director, but she did win Best Original Screenplay, which is a feat in itself. And the cast in that movie won a bunch of Oscars as well, so the Academy loved this one. In short, it's the mid-19th century. A mute woman is sent to New Zealand, along with her young daughter and prized piano, for an arranged marriage to a farmer, but is soon lusted after by a farm worker. So it's like a romantic drama. It's probably very emotional. IMDb rating is 7.5 out of 10. I always use IMDb, by the way, because I feel like it's the most legitimate resource. Like Rotten Tomatoes sometimes can just be a bit full of trolls, but Dealer's choice.
And my choice is IMDb. Okay, thank you.
Wow, the light changes in here so fast. My friend called me and now that room's completely dark. Okay, the year is 2003 and Sofia Coppola is nominated for Best Director for her film Lost in Translation. Yeah, she is a little Nepo baby, the daughter of Francis Ford Coppola, who did a little movie called The Godfather. She didn't win for Best Director, but she did win for Best Screenplay, so round of applause for that. And unfortunately, this movie is still on my to-watch list. After all these years. If you don't know, Lost in Translation follows a faded movie star, Bill Murray, who crosses paths with a neglected young woman, Scarjo, and they form an unlikely bond while visiting Tokyo. So it's a very interesting concept and an interesting setting, which probably makes for a very beautiful film. Lost in Translation has a 7.7 on IMDb. Following that, it's 2009, and Kathryn Bigelow is nominated for The Hurt Locker. And we have a winner! Curious that this movie was written by a man, but directed by a woman, and we'll leave it at that. During the Iraq War, a sergeant recently assigned to an army bomb squad is put at odds with his squad mates due to his maverick way of handling his work. This movie also won Best Picture and Best Screenplay, so 7.5 on IMDb. These are all kind of in the same window of higher end ratings.
They're all in the 7s, though. I wonder. I don't think any of them got an 8 out of 10, which is, like, very rare on IMDb, but...
You can cross-reference with your Rotten Tomatoes, I don't care. I remember when this movie came out because I was a literal child. I was in grade 9, I must have been 14. And I had no interest in watching it. If I had known it was directed by a female, I think I might have... Actually, I probably wouldn't have. Let's be real. What 14-year-old gives a fuck? I was thinking about Twilight. Team Edward or Team Jacob. Also another great movie directed by a woman. Kathryn as well. What is her name?
Hardquest? What is her name? Oh my gosh. Hardquest? What is it?
Hardwick. Kathryn Hardwick, directed by Kathryn Hardwick, a cult classic. Moving on. Number 5 on the list is my woman crush herself, Greta Gerwig. Who doesn't love Greta Gerwig? The year is 2017. Greta Gerwig is nominated for Best Director for her film Lady Bird, which is like one of my favorite movies, and I've only watched it once, but it's one of my favorites. Greta Gerwig has been nominated for 3 Oscars and has yet to win. Okay? Her time will come. It's inevitable. She has been nominated for Best Original Screenplay, Best Director, and Best Adapted Screenplay for Little Women, which is also an amazing film. Quick summary of Lady Bird. In 2002, an artistically inclined 17-year-old girl comes of age in Sacramento, California. That's like a very quick, basically coming of age story about a girl who wants to pursue a creative career and has to face the emotional turmoil that comes with taking that next step in life. As an actor myself, I just found this movie so relatable. There's a scene where Lady Bird is speaking to her mother about how she wants to go off and pursue a creative career, and they're in a thrift store. Something I used to do with my mom was always go to Winners or go thrifting. We do that together all the time still. They're in this heat of an argument, like almost yelling at each other through clothing racks, and the next thing you know, her mom pulls out a garment. She's like, this is actually cute, this would be really cute on you, and then Lady Bird just goes, oh yeah, that's totally cute. Like, they just have this intense emotional argument, and then it just fizzles out, and that's so accurate to a relationship between a mother and daughter. Greta Gerwig's Lady Bird got a 7.4 out of 10 on IMDb. And in 2020, not 1, but 2 women were nominated for Best Director. We have Emerald Fennel and Chloe Zhao. Chloe Zhao's film Nomadland and Emerald Fennel's Promising Young Woman could, if you're choosing to look at it this way, be competing in the category for Best Director in 2020. With Emerald's film Promising Young Woman, oh my gosh, I couldn't watch this movie. A young woman traumatized by a tragic event in her past seeks out vengeance against those who crossed her path. So this would be, in all honesty, it would be a very satisfying but triggering film to watch. So I had to pass on this one because it did sort of come with a trigger warning, and I'm just not down for that. So Promising Young Woman got a 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb. Emerald was nominated for her original screenplay here, as well as 3 other awards. Actress Carey Mulligan was nominated for Best Actress, and she was nominated for Best Picture, as well as, obviously, Best Director. And coming back to Chloe Zhao, also nominated in 2022, she was the first woman of color to be nominated for Best Director at the Academy Awards, and I think at the Globe and Globes. Chloe Zhao's film Nomadland was based on a book, so it was an adapted screenplay, if you will. A woman in her 60s, after losing everything in the Great Recession, embarks on a journey through the American West, living as a van-dwelling modern-day nomad. It sounds really great. So in 2020, Chloe did take home the Oscar for Best Director. This film was also nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Editing, and Best Picture. Nomadland got a 7.3 on IMDb. Moving into 2021, we have Jane Campion once again nominated for Best Director for her film The Power of the Dog. The Power of the Dog follows charismatic rancher Phil Burbank, who inspires fear and awe in those around him. When his brother brings home a new wife and her son, Phil torments them until he finds himself exposed to the possibility of love. Ooh. Love triangle, perhaps. And yes, she did win. She won 2 years in a row for women in the category. Let's hear it. How progressive of the Academy. 2 years in a row? What happened this year? What happened this year? Jane Campion was the first woman to be ever nominated twice for Best Director, which is like kind of ridiculous. The movie The Power of the Dog got 11 other Oscar nods. Jane Campion wrote the film with some guy called Thomas Savage. Out of all of the women to direct films and be nominated, it actually has the lowest rating on IMDb. So what's that about? Let me know what you think in the comments if you've seen this movie. And that's it. That's the 8 women. That is the 8 women and their movies that have been nominated for Best Director at the Academy Awards. And the winners are Kathryn Bigelow, The Hurt Locker, Chloe Zhao, No Man's Land, Jane Campion, The Power of the Dog. Yeah, truly, 3 women have won in almost a century. So with that being said, how could we go from 2020 having 2 women in the category for Best Director to having 2 women win back-to-back to having not a single female nominated in 2023 for films that came out in 2022? How is that possible? Because it's not because women aren't making movies. It's not. It's not because women aren't being celebrated for their films. It's not. The first woman recorded to direct was a French lady named Alice Guy Blanchet, and she made her first film in 1896. Women be making movies, okay? Thank you so much for hanging out with me and celebrating the 8 wonderful women who have paved the way for female directors like me who want to get out there and have a chance at a career. So if you like this video, subscribe, like, leave me a comment, let me know if you hate me. It really does help me out. Otherwise, I hope you have a great Oscar weekend. I hope you get your butt off the couch and make a movie with your iPhone because you can. Yeah, and I love that you're here with me. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye! Oh no! The clapper broke. Amazon, why you gonna let me down like that? Oh no, I'm missing a piece. I can find it. Oh, found it.